pleasant Wednesday evening to all. It's another beautiful Wednesday evening here in Queen City, Nevis, and it's the On the Mark program once again this evening. I'm sure you're probably surprised that you're hearing my voice again this evening. You heard me last week, and you're hearing me again this evening. The Honorable Mark Brantley, the regular host, is unavailable this evening. And, of course, I am here, so you'll have me to deal with for the next 2 hours. Of course, the On The Mark program is here every Wednesday from 8 until 10 here on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan Radio 860 on your AM dial, www.vaughanradio, where only the best will do. And so we are here every Wednesday evening to have a nice lively discussion, and of course your phone calls are normally included. And so at the top of the show, I want to just greet all of our listeners and those joining us online. So we say good evening to all of you who are in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, those in the region, those in the diaspora, wherever you are. We are so happy and we are so delighted that you have decided once again on a Wednesday evening that you're going to spend 2 hours with us here on The Mark. Of course, this show has been around for a very long time. And of course, it has gained popularity over the years. One of the most popular, one of the most listened to shows in St. Kitts and Nevis and probably in the region. And so we greet all of you wherever you are at this point in time, whatever time of day or night, wherever you are listening, we greet you and we say we are so happy to have you. And of course, we are inviting you to stay with us for the entirety of the show. We go until 2 hours. Remember, this is a commercial-free show, and so we're going to be going until 10 o'clock. Of course, those who miss it on a Wednesday night would normally listen on a Thursday from 1. There's a rebroadcast on a Thursday from 1 until 3. And as I normally say, many people listen on a Wednesday and they listen again on a Thursday because the show is always that good. That person sometimes want to get 2 takes of it. And so it's always good when you listen on a Wednesday and you listen again on a Thursday. So we greet you. It is the 14th day of May 2025. We're almost halfway there in the month of May. Unbelievable. And I keep saying the weeks and the months and the days are flipping by so quickly. We're almost halfway there in 2025. And I hope those of you who would have made New Year's resolutions for 2025, I hope you're keeping them. And I know you're probably saying the days and the weeks and the months are going by so quickly. We're almost going into another new year, 2026. Okay, so once again, we greet you and we say welcome to On The Mark. It's good to have you with us. And of course, normally at the top of the hour, at the top of the show, we normally do some housekeeping and we normally greet persons who are celebrating. And this evening we are greeting the celebrants, those of you who are celebrating today, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, whatever, any occasion that you're celebrating. We want to greet you from On The Mark. We say congratulations to you. If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, sorry. Hope you've had a wonderful day, and I hope you're going to continue to have a great evening and a great rest of your celebration. If you're celebrating an anniversary, happy anniversary to you, whatever it is. I trust and hope you've had a great day and you'll have an even better night. So congratulations to you. I wanted this time to say a very special belated birthday greetings and congratulations to a very special and lovely lady. Her name is Mrs. Evelyn Brown, and she's formerly of Jessops. I know the persons of Jessops would want me to say this. She's formerly of Jessops Village, and she's now residing at Prospect. Now, yesterday, Tuesday, the 13th of May, Mrs. Evelyn Brown, a lovely lady, would have made a century. She would have made 100. And so she's now our newest centenarian, not only in Nevis, but in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so we want to say belated happy birthday to Mrs. Evelyn Brown there, now residing at Prospect with her daughter. And it was such a delight. I am so happy that I was invited there yesterday. I was able to make a presentation to her. I was also able to make a presentation on behalf of the Prime Minister. That was an honor and a delight for me to do as well. And so it was a beautiful, beautiful celebration there yesterday at Prospect. I really want to say kudos to the daughters, Verdis and Carmen and Celestine, for taking such fantastic care of their mom and organizing such a beautiful celebration there at Prospect yesterday. I'm sure all of us who attended would agree it was indeed a wonderful, phenomenal celebration for a phenomenal lady who has lived and is now has made the century mark a milestone. Mrs. Brown has now joined 4 other women here on the island of Nevis who are centenarians, and 1 gentleman who actually now resides on St. Kitts. And so we now have 5 ladies residing on Nevis who are centenarians. We also have a centenarian who is a male. He now resides at a home, a nursing home on St. Kitts. And so, Mrs. Evelyn Brown, congratulations to you. You have been a hard worker over the years. God has blessed you with longevity. You lived to see the milestone, and we are indeed happy for you that you would have lived to see this milestone. As I said yesterday when I was making my presentation, it shows that hard work doesn't kill anybody. Hard work makes you actually look better and makes you live longer. Of course, when we would have listened to the bio of Mrs. Brown, we realized that she's someone who would have worked hard in her years, someone who was a disciplinarian, who brought up her children well, and she just had all of the good virtues of a wonderful, wonderful lady. And so, Mrs. Brown, once again, belated happy birthday to you. And as I said, I am really proud of the children, that they are looking after you so well. It's always good when people celebrate a century or celebrate these milestones, that they're in the comfort of their home, or in the comfort of the home of their family members. And so kudos once again to the daughters, the grandchildren, all who were there, the great-grand, and all who came out in their numbers to celebrate with her yesterday. We were a little nervous because yesterday morning was very, very rainy earlier in the morning, and very windy as well. And it was so stormy on St. Kitts that the officials from St. Kitts who were planning to come to Nevis did not make it over. And so Dame Marcella Leiber, the Governor General, she was planning to come over to make a presentation. She had to send her gift, and so the Deputy Governor General had to present that on her behalf. And other officials from St. Kitts were due to come. They could not make it over either. The Honorable Jeffrey Hanley was supposed to be there. Other staff members from social services were supposed to be there from St. Kitts. They could not make it over, but thankfully they would have sent their gifts, and so the gifts were presented on their behalf. As I said, I would have presented a lovely bouquet on behalf of Prime Minister Drew to Mrs. Brown. And so, as I said, it was a wonderful celebration, good company, and thank God the weather held. The weather held up well. It was a very nervous moment because we thought it was going to rain. Of course, most of us were on the lawns, and so if it had rained, it would have been a bit of an issue. And so the Lord held His hand, and He held up well, and it was a marvelous, marvelous celebration for someone so befitting of that, Mrs. Evelyn Brown. And of course, we know that normally once you become a centenarian on the island of Nevis, sometime in the near future, your picture will go on one of the postage stamps. Kudos to the Honorable Spencer Brand and his team for this initiative. And so once you become a centenarian on the island of Nevis, you will be on a postage stamp. So of course, the family can look forward to this. Very shortly, Mrs. Evelyn Brown, her picture will be on one of the postage stamps for the island of Nevis. And while I'm saying happy birthday, I want to say an advance happy birthday greetings to my good friend over in Butler's Village, who will be making 80 on the weekend. Mr. Burke, Mr. Samuel Burke, you'll be making 80. And I just want to say heartiest congratulations to you in advance as well. I don't know, we are doing something good on the island of Nevis. People, longevities, good, and people are living long lives. People are living long, happy lives. And when you see people at the age of 80 and 90 and they're looking so well, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good that you're living in an island that, you know, people are taking such good care of themselves. Their family members are taking such good care of themselves. And so, Mr. Samuel Burke, over there in Butlers, I'll see you on the weekend, and I trust that you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful celebration for your 80th birthday this coming weekend. And anyone else who might be celebrating today or later on in the week, we extend heartiest congratulations to you as well. And as I say all the time, make the best of your celebration when it comes. Life is short, life is fragile, life is fickle, life is uncertain. So when you can celebrate, celebrate in style. Don't be afraid to celebrate in style. Celebrate you. You deserve to be celebrated. Life was meant to be celebrated. And so we are happy when we can celebrate life in this fantastic way. Okay? And of course, those of you who are not feeling so well today, those of you who might be a little bit under the weather, we say good evening to you. Good evening to you, Hilly. Hope you're feeling much better this evening. And of course, we say good evening to all those who might be hospitalized at this time. Those of you who are in the hospital, those of you who are in the Flamboyant Nursing Home, those of you who are in the St. George and St. John Home, and of course, the wonderful people who are taking such good care of you, we greet you as well. And we trust that you continue to take fantastic care of those persons, whether they're in the hospital, whether you're in the homes. And said the folks who normally take care of them always does such a great and marvelous job, and we want to continue. We want to encourage you to continue to do so. And for those who might be in the bereaved column, we greet you as well. We know for the past couple of weeks we've had quite a number of persons in the bereaved column, and of course we know it's always difficult. It's always difficult to lose a loved one, and so if you're in the bereaved column, we greet you as well, and we say condolences to you on the loss of your loved one, and trust that God will continue to take such very good care of you. Of course, we are a close-knit community here on the island of Nevis, and we look out for each other. That is what we should always do. And of course, when one person is in the bereaved column, we always try to sympathize with them. And of course, as I said, we are a close-knit community, and it's amazing. Sometimes you don't know who is family until someone dies or someone gets married, and then you're surprised that this person is your family, this person is your cousin. Even when we were at the celebration yesterday over at Prospect for Mrs. Evelyn Brown, we were hearing so many persons there saying, oh, that person is my cousin, and that person is my cousin, and Mrs. Brown is my cousin, you know. And it seems as though that all the persons from Jessop's were there yesterday, and I said it looked like almost all of Jessop's was there. Almost everybody from Jessop's there yesterday saying they were related in some way. Jessop's and Cotton Ground, you know. And so we always say here in Nevis, because almost everybody is related, we should try to treat each other well, and we should try to respect each other. And as the old saying goes, if you don't have anything good to say about somebody, don't say anything, because sometimes you might be saying something bad about your own relative. We're a small community, a small close-knit community, and let us remain that way. Let us remain as loving and caring as possible in this beautiful paradise that we call Queen City, Nevis. Okay? All right. Well, we have other things to discuss tonight. We have a lot of information to share. But before we do so, I have someone in the studio with me this evening, and I'm always happy when I have company. And just before I introduce my company, I just also want to say congratulations to Miss Jazara Claxton. Mr. Zara Claxton, I'm sure many persons would have heard that name before. She's a young female cricketer from St. Kitts, and she would have made history in becoming the first female from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to make it to the women's West Indies cricket team, the senior women West Indies cricket team. Miss Claxton, congratulations to you. I know they would have recently had a regional tournament which Miss Claxton played for the Leeward Islands. They would have picked the West Indies women's team. I think they will be traveling to England very shortly to compete there in, I think, in some 2020 matches. And Jazara Claxton got the nod from the selectors. And so heartiest congratulations to Jazara. St. Kitts, you're on a roll because you just had the Louis brothers who would have made it onto the West Indies team, and now young Jazara Claxton has made it on, the first female. Of course, we are happy because as a small Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we have done very well. Of course, El Camino Willett would have blazed the trail for many other persons, other cricketers from Nevis and then St. Kitts to get onto the West Indies team. And now we are so happy that young Jazara Claxton has made history and is now, she has put her name in the history books, first female cricketer to make it onto the West Indies team. So young Miss Claxton, congratulations to you. All the very, very best when you travel to England. We hope that you will shine. We hope that you will do yourself proud. You will do St. Kitts and Nevis proud. And you will do the West Indies women cricket team proud. So congratulations to you. I'm sure many other young female cricketers will be trying to emulate you now and trying in the future to get onto the West Indies team. And as we end on that particular note for this segment, I want to say welcome to my guest for this evening, who is a nice, lovely young lady as well. And so I am in the company of a lovely young lady this evening, and she's here. She has a lot of information to share with us, and I'm happy that she decided to come and on the mark this evening and share some information with us. I know that she has been very active. Her department has been very active, and she's here to share some information in terms of what her department will be doing during the course of this month of May. When I was here last week, I did indicate that a lot of things are happening in the month of May. Last week, of course, you would recall we had two persons here, two backyard gardeners who were here. This is Agriculture Awareness Month. This is also Tourism Awareness Month, and we had a taxi driver who was here last week. And this month also as well is Community Development Month. And so we have a plethora of activities happening during the month of May. And so I'm happy to be joined this evening by a lovely young lady. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself.
Good night, listening audience. My name is Denise Smithen. I'm the Acting Director at the Department of Community Development. Good night, Minister Evelyn. Thank you for having me tonight, where I could speak about our month of activities. And we're celebrating under the theme, Together We Grow, Together We Thrive, Our Community, Our Pride. And so we're excited we already started some activities, and we're excited to be here. I'm excited to be here to speak to you about our month of activities.
Fantastic. I know normally when we plan these activities, we put a lot into planning. And so we want the message out because we want persons to come. We want people to support the activities. It's all good to do all of the planning. But, you know, your planning could be futile if we do not promote it. If persons are not aware of what is happening, and then persons don't shop. It's a bit of a hard feeling when you plan so much and then you give so much, you put out so much effort, and then you don't see many people supporting. And so I decided I'm going to give you the opportunity to come this evening and promote what you're doing in community development. As I said last week, we spoke to someone from tourism, we spoke to two persons related to agriculture, and since this month is also Community Development Month, I decided to extend the invitation as well. So I am delighted that you're here, and I know you're celebrating. I know some of the activities would have gone already. You have some other major activities coming up as well. But just before we get into the activities for the month, Community Development Month, maybe let us just quickly chat a little bit about community development. For those who are listening who may not be too familiar with what your department does, tell us a little bit about the department. What do you do? What are some of the activities you're engaged in, and so on?
Okay, so our department, we deal with a plethora of things. We deal with, most importantly, we work and liaise with community groups and help them, give them the tools they need to succeed. And so one of the things we are big on is working with community groups, Recently, we worked with the Jessup's management team, and they put on a very successful Jessup Seafood Fiesta. And we work with such other groups such as the Empire Sports Club and different community groups in the community. And so we are big on collaborating with community groups and other departments as well. We deal with capacity building, so we've had so many training sessions and workshops that assist persons and give them the tools they need to empower themselves and to branch off into whether they want to become entrepreneurs or just do something on the side. So one of the things that we did recently was our agro-processing workshop, and Mr. Evelyn, you were at the closing, and that went extremely well. Right now we have our floral arranging workshop, which is also a part of Community Development Month. We would have also done various other, our sewing class was also very successful, and you know, as time goes on, we try to implement workshops and sessions that people can benefit from and grow from. We also manage the community centers in around the island of Nevis, and one of the things we try to do is work with persons. Well, first and foremost, it's a venue space, so we encourage persons to book it for their parties, wedding, receptions, repasts, or whatever the case may be. Our office is open to your needs. We also have our skills training sessions there, and if anybody in the community who wants to pass on their knowledge is interested, they can come and visit our office, and we'll work with them and give them the tools to provide that space where they can do whatever training sessions or workshops or whatever they choose to do. And so overall, our department works very well with our community members. Our goals are to inspire and empower them. We want them to have the tools to be successful. One of the events that we have coming up, Mr. Evelyn, and you'll hear about it soon, the Empire Sports Club. I'm going to put a plug in. We are working diligently with them to do the cricket tournament. They held the cricket tournament last year, and it was highly successful. And I want to commend Mr. Evelyn for sponsoring and being an active part of this tournament, and of course their fun day. As you know, Michael Wise Herbert, he was instrumental in facilitating this tournament, and we want to ensure that it goes on and it continues. So we're working diligently with the Empire Sports Club to get this cricket tournament back on track. And so overall, our department, we try to ensure that we assist our community members, give them the tools and do capacity buildings. One of the things we're also trying to work on is also assisting them with grant funding. There's money out there.
Yes.
We just want to give them the capacity to ensure that they are able to capture what is available, and we're excited. We were, well, through the management team, Jessup's management team, they were able to procure some funding for some FADS training. There was some delays, but we're hoping to have it mid-June, and so I'm encouraging the general public to listen out for that. And what FADS are is fish aggregate devices.
Yes.
And as you know, Jessup's is predominantly a seafood or fishers community, and we want to give them the capacity to learn how to create FADs, and that way it will increase the sustainability of fishing and allow them to increase their stock of fish when they're out fishing. It pulls the fish in one area, and it allows them to get more fish. And so I want to also highlight the Department of Marine Resources, who also played an instrumental role. As I would have mentioned before, we are big on collaborating because I feel like we get more done when we work with others. And so I'm excited for that as well. So overall, our department, we do a lot, and that doesn't even begin to highlight, because we also have at the Cotton Ground Community Center currently the CBR advocates, the persons with disabilities. They meet every day, daily. It's a daily program, and we ensure that we give them the tools and the assistance to succeed. And so that's one of the other things that we try to do. And of course, the Breadfruit Festival is coming up. Date will be said soon, and I'm hoping that we get everybody on board and persons to come and support the Barnesgate community.
Fantastic. As I said, I know that the department is very active. Of course, I was the minister of that department a couple of years ago, and of course, I'm always happy to see when these departments did their outreach and they are getting involved and so on. But something I have been concerned about over the years, and I'm sure probably you're concerned about it as well. You said, of course, you all work with community groups. You try to help with capacity building and so on. But I am very concerned that we don't have enough community groups on the island of Nevis.
Yeah,
volunteerism is kind of waning on the island, and that is something we definitely have to work on.
Yes, I agree totally. It's been a challenge.
It is a challenge, yeah.
And usually when we have these events or programs, it's usually almost always the same set of persons, and we're trying to tap into younger persons and our young men especially. We try to encourage persons to use community management teams such as Jessup's and Brownhill. The Brownhill management team is very, very active, and they have done an excellent job, especially with their community garden, and they did a food hamper distribution the other day. They also had a fun day, and so they are very, very active. And so we want persons to use these community management teams as a pilot or as an example of what they can possibly achieve in their community. I know that some of the other communities, such as Bath Village, there's the Bath Sustainability Group. They are trying and they're doing their best to be more active and vibrant. So I know it's a process, and our job is challenging because sometimes it's like, I don't want to say it, but like fighting tooth and nail with people.
I know. I'm aware.
Yeah, but it has improved. We are trying our best to just encourage persons and not necessarily incentivize them, but highlight and acknowledge their work so that they can feel, proud of what they can have achieved and encourage other persons to follow suit.
And I must say that, based on what I've seen, in terms of what you are doing, in terms of especially the programs, like I attended the closing ceremony for the agro-processing workshop. All these workshops and so on that you normally organize in the centers, I am not sure about the others, but I know I saw the response for the agro-processing. What has generally the response been like for overall for the workshops that you normally organize at these centers?
So generally we try to ensure that we implement workshops that people are interested in.
Yes.
So for the agro-processing workshop, it was an overwhelming amount of persons who signed up, and we had to close off, but we are hoping to implement it in the near future. In terms of some other workshops we've had, such as the floral arrangement workshop, we have 17 participants, and there are some other workshops that we have in the pipeline. We would have had some workshops that were held like in previous years, and as you know, trends, things evolve, and so there are trending things that people want to get into, and then there are things that are of yesteryears. So even when we try to implement certain things that would have been implemented before, some persons may be interested, but the general response is not as strong as we expect. So our goal is trying to ensure that what we implement is what the community wants. Sometimes we find that some persons in a specific sector or parish want to see something being implemented, and so when we implement it, we find the response is good on that end, but then the general response is not strong. And so we are trying to aim for at least 20 persons. Sometimes we get under, but our goal is there. And so in terms of the programs or workshops we've had overwhelming responses. There, once or twice we don't have the response, and we go back to the drawing board, and we also try to ensure that we get persons information and get feedback from persons as it relates to what they would like to see being done. And it's challenging sometimes because some persons may have an interest as opposed to others, and
yes.
So it's hard to collectively decide what to implement. So we try to look at trends and look at things that people are gearing towards, and things that people. So if it's a workshop that teaches persons how to make shoes, we ensure that persons are into buying local shoes and that
Yes.
type of thing.
And I think it's your department had the kite making workshop as well. Was it your department?
That was gender affairs.
Oh, that was gender affairs. Okay, all right. But generally, as I said, I think I have witnessed some of the workshops, the response, and it has been quite good. Quickly, before we go to the month of activities as well, tell the listening public, because some persons are still not aware, what is the procedure to use a community center? I know earlier you spoke about you can utilize community center for your wedding receptions, your birthday parties, for your repasts and so on, because I still get a lot of calls from persons who want to use the center, and I would always tell them call the department, or call Miss Smith, or call somebody from there. So share some information in terms of when persons want to use the center, what is the procedure?
So if you're interested in using our community centers, you can reach out to our department. You can call 469-5521 extension 6461, 6462, and so on. Or you can ask for community development. We have a form that you would have to fill out, and based on the venue, based on the community center and the type of event that you would like to have, then you will be priced accordingly. There's a $100 refundable deposit, and that is of course in case there are any damages, or if there, the center is not left in the conditions that they were met. Prices range anywhere between $250 to $350, $450. It depends on the venue, and most likely Jessups and Pond Hill and those other larger community centers are more costly. We try to ensure that persons have site visits before. So if you're interested in a community center, we always encourage persons to have that time to visit the community center and ensure that it is up to your standard and liking. And if there are any issues, feel free to reach out to us before the event so that we can rectify. So basically that's about it. If you have a community center that you're interested in, you can also visit the community center when you're passing by. There are center managers. We don't have center managers at all, but there are some that still have center managers. Or you can reach out to our office and we can organize a site visit for you. And if that's a space that you would like to use, then you fill out the form, and then the administrative staff will give you the information afterwards. Once you are finished with your event and the center is left in the conditions that it was met, and of course there are no damages, then your $100 would be refunded to you, and it's usually via your bank account.
So normally you have to pay upfront the $100 plus the cost.
Yes, preferably before the event.
Okay, and you must remind people that these are giveaway prices.
Yes, because yes, there actually are giveaway prices, because we have AC, we give you toiletries, the space is nice and clean.
You get chairs and tables.
Chairs and tables. You got stove and fridge, and all sorts of amenities are afforded to you, and they are at no extra cost. So and we give you that experience. As I said, you can come and visit before. And the spaces are very, very nice. The lighting is good, and it is central in the community. So if you're from Jessups, you have your party or your event right there in Jessups, and we have very nice bathrooms, and the space is good. And as I said, you have your drinks, and you can store them in our fridge. We give you that chance to be comfortable when you're having your events. And there are spaces where you can set up your station where you want to serve food. It is very, very spacious, and it is not limited to one part of the community center. Once you book the hall, you have access to the kitchen and the bathrooms and the outside even, because of course you would need parking, and some
Yes.
of our community centers have benches so that you can have space for persons outside. And so it is a steal of a deal. It's very, very cheap, it's very affordable, and we try to ensure that the experience for our clients are very, very good. And I think that our community centers are very nice.
They are.
And I'm not going to make the comparison, but they are very nice, very bright and spacious, very clean. One thing I love about our community centers is the lighting. We have very good lighting, and we did some work on Pond Hill last year to improve the lighting, and so all of the lights were outfitted, new LED lights. So we try to ensure that our community centers are up to par. One of the community centers that we're working on is Butlers. It's still a work in progress. We are still fine-tuning some things to ensure that when we reopen Butlers, it is up to a high standard. And so we thank the general public, especially the Butlers community, for working with us and being patient as we ensure that when Butlers reopen, it is totally fixed. We did some extensive repairs on the roof and the bathrooms and the windows. We changed most of the windows, so it has upgraded and it looks very, very nice. And we are going to reopen it soon. We just have to do an assessment and ensure that it is fixed. And of course, there are some other things that we want to do so that when we reopen, it's brand spanking new.
And of course, they have to clean up after each event.
Of course, yes. Thank you for pointing that out. You definitely have to clean up after your event, which includes sweeping, mopping, throwing out your garbage, and wiping down whatever appliances you use. So if you use the stove to heat up whatever, and sometimes we have the goat water, conch chowder, whatever, make sure that you wipe down the stoves and dispose of your garbage and ensure that there are no damages. We try to encourage persons to, I realize sometimes we give persons the booking forms and they skim through, but we want persons to take their time and read through it and ensure that they understand the terms and conditions, because we don't want it to be a case where after a booking or after an event the space is still not cleaned. We know sometimes persons, everybody cleans differently, but we're encouraging persons to please ensure that the centers are cleaned and tidied up so that it's ready for the next person.
Fantastic. All right, Ms. Smithon, you've been giving us a lot of information, very, very important and pertinent information for the public. So let us now dive into the month of activities, because I know you have quite a bit of information to share regarding the month of activities. Tell us about what would have gone so far.
Okay, so we would have had ongoing right now. We have of course, the floral arrangement workshop. We wanted it would have spanned 6 weeks, so we started it a little earlier. We also would have held our church service that was at the Beulah Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it was a wonderful church service, and I want to thank the congregation and the pastor for giving us such a warm welcome. Of course, we had the Jessup Seafood Fiesta, and I just want to highlight the Ministry of Tourism who always lends a helping hand, especially when it comes to promoting community tourism based events such as that. And so that event went very, very well. The turnout was amazing and it was really good.
I really heard some great reviews. I normally come. I didn't get a chance to come this year. I had to attend a couple activities in my constituency, and so I didn't get a chance to come this year, but I really had some great reviews about the festival. I heard that the turnout was good. I heard the food was good. All of the dishes were amazing, and I heard things were sold out and so on. So that event seemed to be growing very well.
Yes, it has become a staple event in our community, and I just want to commend, of course, the president of the Jessup's Community Management Team, Tamara Farrell, and the other committee members, and our center manager, Leander Cornelius. They did a lot of the heavy lifting, and of course our department staff who are there to provide our support as usual. I just want to commend all of the movers and the shakers of Jessup Seafood Fiesta. It has grown, and people from St. Kitts actually came over as well, and so it was really good to see that the large turnout and the support. And Jessup's management team, it would have been sponsored by the Jeff's Small Grants program, and so that gave them an extra boost.
Fantastic.
And I just want to commend them for their efforts, and I'm hoping to see some more events throughout the year, and not only for Labor Day, but that's something that we're working on as well. But overall, Jessup Seafood Fiesta was amazing, and the turnout was good. It was awesome.
Great. Fantastic. Well, I'm happy to hear that.
So we also had a podcast dubbed Caribbean Migrant Masculinities, and that was at the Malcolm Gishard Park on May 8th. And we had 3 panelists, Sergeant Inspector Kishan Charles, Mr. Eric Singh, and Mr. Jack Gumba. And our podcast. The host was Mr. T. Liebert, and the purpose of that podcast was to highlight some of the challenges and issues, and just to highlight the stories of our migrant men. We know that Nevis is a melting pot of persons from different parts of not only the Caribbean region but the world, and so we just wanted to give them a platform, and we wanted it to serve as a good segue into our Heritage Festival as well, because we are trying to ensure that as a community, we know that the community is evolving and there are people from all over the Caribbean and the world who are here, and so we want everybody to feel included. And so that was the purpose of that podcast, and it premiered tonight on Nevis Newscast.
Great.
But it will be available online as well. So for those of you who are listening, you will still have a chance to look at it on our department's page and on YouTube. So I just wanted to thank the panelists and of course our host. That podcast was in collaboration with the Department of Gender Affairs, because we wanted to highlight not only our migrant men but also to highlight gender specific issues connected to migration. And so it was a wonderful podcast. It was great to hear the insight from the men, and it's going to be a good listen. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you to listen out and listen to it and learn from it and share the information. You will not regret it. It was good.
Great.
Oh, and so we have our jumbo sale, but before I go into the jumbo sale, we were slated to have a beginner's auto body repair workshop. It was targeting mostly young men and school leavers. However, we understand that this is exam time and so on, so we decided to accommodate them and to postpone it until a later date when we can have them on board. We didn't want it to serve as a distraction, and we understand that exams and studies are important, and so we'll postpone that until a later date when we have all the young men and all the boys can attend. And so I just wanted to highlight that, but I wanted to also speak on Mr. Sergio Vish. He is going to be our facilitator for that workshop. When I spoke to him about it, he was very excited, and who
is a member of your team, right?
Yes,
of staff,
he's the community liaison officer for St. John's Parish, and he's into those. He knows how to do those things. He's an expert actually. He has a side business where he does spray painting, and so we thought, why not have you as a facilitator for one of our workshops? And so he was willing, and we're excited to have this workshop hosted soon. And it's going to be a very engaging workshop, and we are going to have live demonstrations where persons will learn to make repairs on vehicles, especially if you want to change the color of your vehicle, or if there are any dents or damages, you can use those techniques that you learn to fix
scratches.
Scratches and so on. So you can use those techniques that you will learn to fix those things.
And I understand women can be a part of it as well.
Yes, women can be a part of it. We actually have some women who signed up, and so it's not limited to men, it's both women and men. So I just wanted to also highlight that.
Great.
And we have our community cares food drive and distribution day, where we will be distributing food hampers, will be on May 27th. That's a Tuesday. So ongoing right now, we have the food drive, and we're encouraging the general public to donate non-perishable items. So you can donate dried foods such as cereal, rice, and so on, and of course
canned items.
Yes, canned items. And we also encourage persons to donate like toiletries, so toilet paper and toothpaste and so on, to our department, and we'll be distributing on May 27th. And if you cannot make it to our department, you can call us at 469-5521 extension 6461, and we'll be willing to pick up. We want to highlight Rams Supermarket, who came on board willingly to assist us with these efforts. So right now they have a bin at the checkout, so if you go to Rams, buy a little extra vein of sausage or flour or something, and dump it in that bin, and it's for a good cause. It's for a worthy cause. We're trying to give back to our community. We know that a rising cost of living globally, and it affects all of us, and so we just wanted to do our part. Annually we do a community initiative, and Mr. Evelyn, you probably can remember when we restored the house in Gingerland, and that was a really good year as well, and so we wanted to do something different this year. So that's why we came up with the food drive, and we want to thank those who would have donated thus far. Some persons don't want their names called, but Linda from the New Mileage Mall and Dongfang Supermarket did contribute very much to our food drive, so I just wanted to highlight her for assisting us with this effort.
Great.
And
people can bring this stuff in any time, 5 days a week during working hours.
Yes, definitely. So you can come to our department's office, or you can even reach out to one of our center managers at the various community centers, and of course drop off at Ram's Supermarket. If you choose to, you can also donate monetary contributions, and we will facilitate and see where we need to fill in, and we will buy this stuff. But if you want, you can drop off to our office. We are open from 8 to 4, and you can come and speak to one of our CDOs and see where you can also assist, whether it is by volunteering or by donating.
And remind the members of the public where the office is located, your office?
Yes, so we are located at the Evelyn Henville building, and that's the building next to the Nevis Tourism Authority, up some stairs, and or it is opposite the taxi stand on the other side. So it's right there in Charlestown by the Sim Daniel bus. You can't miss it. You'll see the sign.
Great. Fantastic.
So we also have, of course, the ongoing floral arrangement workshop, and that's going well. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday at the Jessups Community Center, and I just want to highlight our facilitator, Mrs. Isaac. She's doing a wonderful job, and the participants express their excitement and their love for the workshop, and they get to learn new skills that they can apply not only to their home in terms of decorating, but church or in their offices. And so that workshop is going well, and it was well received. And so I just wanted to thank the participants who willingly signed up, and of course our facilitator who took on the mantle to spearhead this workshop. So the last day of that workshop will be May 29th, and sometimes we have workshops and they're so excited they want to go over, but we are aiming to close on May 29th.
Great.
And of course, the last event on our roster, which is the last day of May, I'm very excited.
You skipped the jumble sale. You were going to talk about it, and then you skipped it over.
Yes. Our jumbo sale will be on May 22nd and May 23rd, and that's going to be at our department's office from 8:30 to 3:30. And of course, as I said before, our office is located at the Evelyn Henville building next to the Nevis Tourism Authority. We will have various items on sale: clothing, shoes, household items. We'll also have bedding, you name it. We'll have everything that you can think of. So we are encouraging the general...
At good prices.
At excellent prices. You can't beat those prices. So we are encouraging the general public to come and support. And if you have anything in your closet that you don't want, or just gathering dust, you can donate them to our department. We use those funds to spearhead whatever programs in excess, or if there's any other little department activities that we want to have. And so it's going to a worthy cause. So if you have anything in your closet, even you, Mr. Evelyn, that you don't need, feel free to as a matter of fact, I think you've contributed many times before.
And I'm going to contribute again this year.
Thank you. Yes, so that will be the 22nd and 23rd. That's a Thursday and a Friday. So come on to our department. You must find something for you. Okay?
Fantastic.
Yes. And the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival.
I know you're excited about it. I am as well, because I was there last year.
Yes, you were.
And I think it went very well. And we want more people to come out this year.
Yes, we definitely.
So let's hear about that.
Yes. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you because our first year you were our host, you were our MC, and you did an excellent job. And you came prepped in your Nivision wear. Because the funny thing is, somebody was supposed to model one of our staff members, and you know he was adamant, so he was so happy when he saw you in your cultural national wear, yes. And so it was really good, and we are anticipating a larger crowd this year, and we are excited to say that we have many more countries on board, and we have a lot of booths. So we have so we have St. Kitts and Nevis, of course. We have Jamaica, St. Lucia, Dominica, Dominican Republic. We have the Philippines. We have China. We have and some African countries. So we have Botswana, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, and so on. So Africa will be represented by numerous African nations, and we have Jamaica as well, and Trinidad and Tobago. We also will be having some agro-processors and some art and craft vendors who will be selling their various products. So we'll have, of course, Ermine Hendrickson from Valzilite. We'll have Native Radiance. We'll have One Love Rastafari Movement that they will be there selling items. So there will be something for everybody. We'll also have various activities. So we have the domino competition. We have the mixology contest. We have a watermelon eating competition. And Mr. Evelyn, I'm sure you remember how that went.
Yes.
It was really good. And we'll also have the kids zone. So if you come and you have your children can go in the bouncing castle. We have face painting, and so there's a little of something for everybody. We also want to ensure that we have that cultural aspect of it because it's a cultural event. So we'll have various cultural performances. So we'll have the masquerade, Moko Jambi, we have the Black Circle drummers, and we have the cakewalk. And so we're excited, and we have some other cultural performances that will be done by the various countries. We are excited also because we'll have our steel pan group, and the children are always excited to be a part of these events, and so we'll have our steel pan groups as well performing. Our entertainment will be done by none other than the legendary DJ Zimba. Of course, all of you should know DJ Zimba. And we'll also have DJ Smudge, the very famous DJ Smudge. And our host is none other than DJ Woodis. And so it will be an amazing day. And as I said, there's a little of something for everybody to do or take part in. The food will be absolutely delicious. And I'm sure that some persons would want to try the food from different countries. And I am anticipating that last year they sold out. So I'm anticipating that they will sell out again this year.
Okay, Denise, last year you hosted the event for the first time. I was very impressed. It was well organized, well laid out, and so on. But persons who do not know what the festival is about, who might be interested in coming this year, tell them what the festival is about, what the department is trying to gain from this festival, what you're trying to highlight from this festival, and so on. Because as I said, some persons might be hearing about the festival for the very first time. So just let people know what the festival is about, what you're hoping to achieve from hosting a festival of this nature.
So the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival is basically a festival to celebrate all of us. Nevis is a melting pot of different persons from different cultures and various backgrounds. And so our goal is to highlight and celebrate those backgrounds and the cultural heritage of all of our persons residing on Nevis, especially our foreign nationals. And so the different vendors will be selling various food items. So for example, Trinidad, they will be selling their national dish and also various food items. So they'll have the bacon shacks, the
roti,
bus-up shots, they say it's bus-up shots, and so on. And Jamaica, of course, will have their
ackee and saltfish,
yes, and the jerk chicken and so on. And so it will be a day where we are celebrating the different cultures and different foods and different national wears and so on. And what we are most excited about is that persons are already gearing up to come and to take part, and so we are expecting to have a plethora of nationalities and people from different backgrounds supporting their different countries. So one of the things I also wanted to highlight is that we want to have various persons from the different backgrounds. We're still fine-tuning that, but we are expecting that that aspect of it would be good. So our goal for Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival is to celebrate all of us, and we know that there's so many persons from different walks of life on Nevis, and we want for community development to be inclusive of everybody. And so basically that's our goal for Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival. Admission is only $5, and it will be more than worth it. We are expecting to have the entertainment will be excellent, and we're expecting the participants, especially our cakewalk and cultural performances, to be engaging with our audience, and so it will be a very good day.
Fantastic. Okay, just before we go any further, if you're listening and you want to ask Miss Smithon any question regarding the Intercultural Food Fair, any question regarding community development, feel free to call in 869-469-1616 or 869-469-1700. We are discussing what's happening for Community Development Month during this month of May, and we are discussing one of the highlights, or the main highlight right now, and that is that big event coming up on the 31st, it is?
Yes.
Of May, and it's a Saturday.
Yes.
Right at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. I would have been there last year. It was a hit last year, and I'm expecting it to be even better for 2025. And there might be persons out there, there may be nationalities out there who might be listening and who may want to take part. And so if there are persons out there from different countries who haven't signed up yet, is it too late for them to sign up? What do they need to do if they are listening and they're interested in coming and being a part of this huge event?
Well, right now we if anybody else is interested in signing up, it may be a little too late because we are already past the logistical stage.
Okay.
However, if there's a country who is interested, we can try to make accommodations, because we can give them a tent and a space. However, a booth would be a little challenging right now, but we are open to other persons. So if you're from other countries that were not listed, you can feel free to reach out to us. If you want to display or highlight your culture, we are more than happy to accommodate you, because it's still a little early. We have 2 weeks to go, and so we will try our best to accommodate you if you're still interested. Right? And I just wanted to highlight that the different foods from the different booths we are also going to have a series called Heritage Unplugged, where we are going to reach out to the various vendors and highlight some of the foods that they will have on display. And so we're excited for that. That will be dropping soon on Communications Unit's page. And so I just wanted to highlight Patrick Howell, because him and his team, they are always willing to assist us with our promotional efforts. So in terms of the Heritage Festival, last year was excellent, and the reviews were really, really good. Persons reached out to our team, even myself on Facebook, and expressed that they really enjoyed it, and they're hoping to see the Heritage Festival again this year. So that's one of the reasons why we really push to have the Heritage Festival. I wanted to also highlight our sponsors for the Heritage Festival.
Just before you highlight the sponsors, we have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Okay, we seem to have some issues with that call. Go ahead and highlight your sponsors.
So I just wanted to highlight our sponsors: Army Bakery. We also have Chills Bar, Laws and Sons, and you may know them as Laws Bookstore, Owali Beach Resort, Mileage Mall, and Dong Fang Supermarket, Caribbean Lottery, and Flow. We want to highlight those sponsors and thank them very much for contributing to our Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival this year.
Okay, I know last year. Okay, we do have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Good evening.
Yeah, good night.
Yes.
What's your Antigua gonna be there too?
Miss Smith, is Antigua going to be there?
We tried, but unfortunately no. But if you know any Antiguans who are interested, feel free to reach out to us.
And you make sure you come, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All
Very
right.
good.
Okay. I know last year you tried to get persons from St. Kitts and Nevis, from the Federation, as well as persons who are attending from the different islands to wear their national wear. Will you be trying to do that again this year? Because I was disappointed because I didn't see much persons from from Nevis who were wearing their national wear last year. Even if you don't have the full package, if you have some semblance of it. So would you be encouraging persons from the Federation to wear their national wear, as well as persons attending from their various countries to put on their national wear again this year?
Yes, definitely. One of the things that we discussed is having a sort of a best national wear contest. So we're still fine-tuning it because we want persons to represent their country, especially St. Kitts and Nevis. And so that's one of the things that we are hoping to do. The prize will be, of course, something like a top-up and so on, but we want persons to have pride in their country and where they're from, and so we're encouraging you you have 2 weeks, start working on, your national wear, even if it's just a nice top with the madras. It's a part of the Heritage Festival, so I'm encouraging all of you who are listening to get your outfits together for the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival. You never know what would be in store for you.
We have another call online. Good evening, caller.
Good night, Honorable.
How you doing, sir?
Evelyn.
How you doing?
Not so bad, not so bad. Listen, you know what I calling for?
Yes, I know you're calling from Tortola, right?
Yeah, calling from Tortola. Listen, this lady who on your show could sit in for you all when you all can make it,
You're impressed with her, right?
Yeah, man, that's why I call it.
Thank you.
She can host the show.
Okay.
So, from tonight, when anyone I can make it, just call her.
Okay, sir.
She can host the show. All right, I can listen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you have
you.
a good night, okay? All right, Miss Smith,
All right, brother.
Miss Smith, you have a fan in Tortola. Okay. And of course, this is somebody who calls in regularly to the show. So thank you very much for calling in Tortola. But as I said, I would really like to see more persons coming out in their national wear this year. It was really good because it's also a learning process because you get an opportunity to see what the national wear for the other countries are like as well. And I know last year as well, I saw some of the countries, they went all out in terms of decorating their booth. Would you be encouraging that again this year? Is there anything at stake for the best decorated booth?
We are definitely encouraging our booths to represent well. I know last year some countries went all out. Jamaica definitely went all out,
Yes.
so definitely St. Kitts Nevis, we're going all out this year. And so we liaise with our groups and our vendors and ensure that they have the necessary tools, because some of them are part of groups or associations that represent their different countries. So we want to ensure that they have the tools necessary to make their booths look nice and beautifully decorated and representative of their countries or where they're from. So that's one of the things we definitely told them early on, and that's something that they're definitely working on.
And of course, another big thing is the foods, because they're bringing their national dishes and their foods that are famous in their respective countries as well. And so you get an opportunity to go around and sample so many different types of foods. It's really a great opportunity. And I'm assuming, of course, as I said, once again, those islands that are taking part will be bringing their national dish, bringing the dishes that are normally famous in their countries, and people get an opportunity to purchase. And of course, the dishes are normally well priced as well.
Yes, very well priced and affordable, and you get to have a sample. If it's not a sample, it's mostly going to be like a small container. So it's going to be affordable, and we also encourage them to ensure that they are able to give persons a small portion, because everybody's palates are different, and we want people to be able to get a taste of a little bit of everything. But one of the things we are also excited about is our St. Kitts and Nevis, because people love the black pudding, so we're gonna have black pudding, and that in itself is really good. And of course, the saltfish and dumpling and so on. We also we're going to have somebody who's going to be selling ice cream and smoothies just to cool you down, because the heat is sometimes it gets a little hot. It does, but we have that as well for persons. We also want to encourage our vendors to ensure that they represent well, because we want that representation. So one of the things we did last year is have each person from each country perform, whether it's their national anthem or some semblance of their culture. I know Guyana, they did some modeling, and Africa, they dance to our African drumming, and so we're excited to see what they have in store for us this year. And of course, we have the Moko Jambi, and we are hoping our lovely minister, Honorable Janelle Nisbet, will be a part of that as well. She's very versed in the Moko Jambi, and so we want that representation. She did tell me that she will be, and so I'm putting that, nudging her again to remind her about that. And so we're excited, and we expect a large turnout. We are also going to, of course, we tapped into our counterparts in St. Kitts. So we have persons coming over from St. Kitts, and of course there's a gentleman from Trinidad. He sells like doubles and the bus up shots. Yes. I did not know what the bus up shots was, and then they told me it's like roti.
It is
different,
like roti.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to learn, and so it's a learning experience as well. You get to learn so much, and it's like you're going around the world, but you're in one place.
Right.
So it's going to be a wonderful afternoon, and of course the music. I'm expecting a wonderful. And I'm expecting wonderful entertainment from our DJs. We ensured, of course, we're not discounting our other DJs, because every year we'll do it differently.
Yes.
But we're expecting a good lineup of entertainment, music, cultural performances, and I think that day will be wonderful.
We have another caller online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Okay, we missed that caller. Caller, could you please call back and have a little patience? Of course, we are talking to Miss Denicia Smithen. She's the Acting Director of Community Development, and we are speaking about Community Development Month, which is being celebrated during the month of May. Their main activity, the highlight of their month, is the multicultural activity that's happening at the Malcolm Gishard Park on Saturday, the 31st of May. We do have the caller back online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark.
Greeting, brother minister. How are you doing?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
I'm thankful for the love of the Almighty. Huh?
Yes.
And give thanks for taking my communique with you.
Yes.
Just to indicate a question on the level of reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just seen recently in the shows of St. Kitts and Nevis, there was a launch of last month, April, to indicate the licensing authority open its door to the general public.
Yes.
I would like to know what your position as the Nevis ends to indicate on the cannabis talk, and the Nevis have an autonomy of agriculture.
Okay, well, that licensing authority is based in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and of course, whatever it is, the St. Kitts and Nevis end, we here on the island of Nevis would always cooperate. Of course, it is being led by St. Kitts. As I said, the licensing authority is based in St. Kitts, and so here on the island of Nevis, we will abide by what is being spearheaded by the licensing authority, and we will proceed accordingly based on what the licensing authority has in mind. But we on the island of Nevis, we are always ready to collaborate with our partners on the island of St. Kitts.
Basically, from the outline, I'm a member of the licensing authority. My name is Asaya, so I'm not going to display to make my name mention.
Yes.
But I will be fairly to say the islands of Nevis need to have some indication jive, even though you have a representative on the board. Is not enough, because one person from Nevis can be impactful to the value of all the Nevis people, them in the aspect of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So I am asking you now generally, I will hope that you can make some more level as a part of the local administration in Nevis, indicating some jive to, don't wait on the administration over in the federal part. do your work from your local aspect that you can give an outline to the general public in Nevis how the aspect of Nevis will be impacting to this industry and where the aspect of the development will strive for the well-being of the common man and common woman. Because we and truly how we're seeing it from the aspect going right now, we don't want no investors feel like it's them they're going to captivate the value of how we want to see revenues bringing to our people, because we people can do it. We have value of how we develop towards using a hub, and we need to use that level in taking educational drive as a part of the aspect for Nevis to know how their position will be presiding on the licensing authority from the federal aspect, not just looking basically in that moment, but making sure that they get protected and respected in the level as the man and woman who are inserted to get into that industry.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your input.
Don't call me sir, Brother Eric. Please don't call me sir.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
Don't call me sir. My name is Rasaya.
All right, Rasaya. Thank you. And you have a good night. Okay. All right. Well, we are now 9 minutes after 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, after 9 o'clock. We're going until 10. I don't expect Miss Smitten to stay with me here until 10, but she's been here for quite a while. And we will be wrapping up shortly because she has shared a lot of information. But we have been discussing that big event that's coming up shortly. That is the multicultural activity happening at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And as I said, if you have any quick question for her before she leaves, you can feel free to call 869-469-1616 or 1700. And so, Miss Smitten, remind us when the activity is happening, what time it starts in the day, what time it goes until. Remind us exactly what the activity is about in case anybody would have tuned in a little late. Because I want people to really come out and be a part of this event, which I think it is growing, and I think it's going to come into a very, very popular event.
Yes, it's going to be a staple event. And so the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival is going to be held at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park on Saturday, May 31st at 12 p.m. until. And so I'm encouraging the general public. It's going to be a celebration of culture, heritage, and everything Nevis, not only Nevis, but regional. So we're going to celebrate persons from the Caribbean region and from beyond in Africa, China, Philippines, and so on. And so we're expecting to have a wonderful day with fun-filled activities. We're going to have various competitions, a domino competition, watermelon eating competition, mixology contest. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're going to actually have 2 live cooking demonstrations, and so we're excited. That is going to be a wonderful time, and you will get to sample the food, and so you definitely can't miss it.
Is it going to be Nivision food for the cooking demonstration?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the items would be teaching how to make breadfruit pancake and different dishes.
Okay.
And the chef from Wally is going to be spearheading one of the cooking demonstrations, Michael Seaton, and then Michael Henville, our very own Michael Henville. He will be facilitating the other cooking demonstration. So that's 2 sub-events that you cannot miss. So the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, as I said before, will have something for everybody, and actually more than one thing for everybody. You can't afford to miss that. So if you did not mark it in your calendars, guys, put it in your calendar.
Stick
okay?
a pin. We have another call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark. Hello.
Brother Evelyn,
Yes.
she could stay with you all the time. So she don't have to go nowhere. So don't run her.
I am not running her.
Please don't run her. Listen, you know what I like about you all show tonight with all of those countries? I am making people feel them are part of Nevis.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
We are very welcoming here on the island of Nevis. Very welcoming.
And that's why I proud of. You understand? It's not who here, who from here, who from here.
You're right.
And I love it, man. I love the thing that she's doing, and I like that she's getting all the country in press. You know,
Thank
make me
you.
feel good.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's why I called back in there tonight.
Yeah.
Because Because in what she's doing, as I said, embracing people with the country get stronger, not weaker. You understand?
Yes.
So, sister, you say we did 10 o'clock. You say 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Right? Okay, well, as I said, you have a really big fan there in Tartola, Miss Smithen. And so, as I said, we are talking about this festival. So, continue to encourage persons to come out. And, of course, encourage persons to support the other events for your month of activities.
Yes. Before I go to the other events, I just wanted to give you a taste of what to expect from our Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival.
Yes.
So in terms of food, from St. Kitts and Nevis, you can expect, and of course this is not limited to what I'm going to say, but these are the main items: black pudding, conky, goat water, dumpling, and saltfish. And who wouldn't love some dumpling and saltfish on a Saturday, right? Africa, you have pounded yam called FOL. Forgive me if I mispronounce that. Chapati, Nima Choma, pepper cow skin, jollof rice. I know of the jollof rice, and jollof rice is very good. Chakalaka, puff puff, samosas, which is beef and saltfish, egusi soup, seswa, which is pounded goat meat. That sounds very interesting. Jamaica, we have manish water, ackee and saltfish, curried mutton, barbecue fried chicken, and stew peas. From St. Lucia, we'll have breadfruit and saltfish, green banana, chicken back, and red bean bouillon. From Dominica, crab callaloo, smoked pork, smoked chicken, Creole fish, tiwi okra, ground provision, and fig pie. From Dominican Republic, rice and beans, black beans with coconut, green peas and red beans, pork and chicken, fish and mutton Spanish cook-up. From the Philippines, we have adobo, pancit, lumpy, bokopan, dumpling. From Guyana, we have pepper pot and bread, Portuguese garlic pork, chicken curry, roti, polori, African metengi, forgive me, white and black pudding, cook-up rice with salted beef, and conky. From Trinidad and Tobago, we have the bus-up shots, shark and bake, and doubles. And from the One Love Rastafari movement, everything ital, so soups, cakes, pastries, stews, brown rice, and other side dishes. So you have so many things to try. You can't afford to miss that day. You have so many things to try. And, of course, our live entertainment, our cultural performances, the other sub-events. It's going to be a fun day. So, mark off Saturday, May 31st, guys, for a full day of fun and excitement, and you will not regret it.
That sounds like a lot to eat in one day.
Yes. But it will be worth it,
Okay.
Definitely.
Great.
So, I'm just making another appeal to our listening audience to come on out to the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival on May 31st, that's Saturday, May 31st, at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, starting at 12. Admission is only $5, and trust me, it will be worth every bite and every beat. And for Community Development Month, I just want to say thank you again for those of you who would have participated and play an active role in our month of activities. And for our upcoming activities, the remaining activities, that is, our jumbo sale on May 22nd and May 23rd, I'm encouraging you to come and support the department's fundraising efforts. We have our community cares food distribution. We all care for our community, so I'm encouraging you to show that you care and contribute and donate to a worthy cause. Our floral arrangement workshop, that is ongoing, and it will be finished on May 29th. But if you're interested, we will accommodate you, and you can fill in for the remainder of the weeks. And of course, our flagship event, the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival, May 31st, that's Saturday, May 31st, starting at 12 p.m. sharp at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And one thing I love about the Malcolm Gishard Park, is that view of Nevis Peak.
Excellent.
Yes, exactly. And
Excellent.
last year was
Spacious,
breezy.
and it's spacious,
Yes,
you know.
beautiful, beautiful. So it's going to be a wonderful afternoon of just relaxing, eating, enjoying the music. It's going to be an excellent time.
Thank you so very much. I am definitely looking forward to the festival. I attended last year, and I can attest to the fact that it was a great experience. I tasted some of the foods from the different countries. I didn't hear Grenada they mentioned this year though. Last year they were there with their oil down and that kind of stuff, but they're out this year.
Yes, unfortunately, we were in contact with Grenada, but due to some challenges, they will not be on board this year. But definitely next year we'll have them on board.
Fantastic. Okay, so I want to endorse all of what Miss Smithon would have indicated this evening, and I want to join with her in encouraging you to be a part of that festival on the 31st of May. It will be an experience. Those of you who did not attend last year, I'm asking you to go out and attend this year. I know we in Nevis, we like good food, right? And we like all of the division food, but it's always good to experience and taste what our other neighbors and what the other islands, what the other countries have to offer as well. So come out and be a part of that festival. And I don't think you'll be disappointed in any way. I wasn't disappointed last year, and I know you won't be disappointed at all this year for 2025. Miss Smithon, anything else you would like to say before you leave? Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to talk about, whether it's about the month, whether it's about your department? Anything else you want to leave with us?
Yes, I wanted to highlight our slogan competition winner, Mr. Kejel Smithen of Cotton Ground Village. I just want to commend you for submitting your winning slogan for Community Development Month. Together we grow, together we thrive, our community, our pride. And that slogan actually encapsulates what we are trying to do at our department. We are trying to grow together with our community and ensure that all of us thrive together and empower our community, and of course have that level of pride in our community. And so all of that slogan encapsulates and captures everything that we are trying to do, from our skills training to our heritage festival and even beyond. So I just wanted to highlight and congratulate Mr. Kejel Smithen and some of the other activities that we're
Just
doing.
before you, we have another caller? No, that person left. Yes, go ahead.
And we also have, I want to highlight our facilitator for our music program at the Cotton Ground Community Center, Mr. Seth Williams. That is ongoing and it's going fairly well. Right now we have four participants. We have limited amount of wind instruments, so we have 2 saxophones and 2 trumpets. So we are hoping to get some more participants on board, and if you have a trumpet or a saxophone, or you're in the process of buying one, you can reach out to our department and join our program. We will be glad to accommodate you at the Cotton Ground Community Center, and that's Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes we meet on Saturdays. The monthly fee is just $50. We
have a caller online. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Brother Evelyn,
Yes, sir.
I have to call back.
Yes.
One island I am missing on Tatola.
Sir, you can. It's just a plane a flight away. You can definitely come and represent Tatola. We are more than happy to welcome you.
And if he doesn't come this year, maybe he can make plans for next year.
Definitely.
I can put that together.
Okay. All right,
Yes.
sir. Okay.
So for the listening audience, I'm encouraging you to, if you want to stay tuned with all our department activities and whatever is happening with under our department's purview, please follow our department's Facebook page at the Department of Community Development Nevis. That's the Department of Community Development Nevis, so you'll stay abreast with everything happening under our department. So I'm just encouraging the general public to continue supporting and continue to support our Community Development Month of activities. And I'm hoping to see every one of you at the Nevis Multicultural Heritage Festival.
Ms. Smithon, thank you so very much for coming. I want to congratulate you and your department for the excellent work that you've been doing over the years. I know that, as I would have mentioned earlier, I was the minister with responsibility for that department a couple of years ago, and so the work continues, and it's just continues to expand. And congratulations on the work that you and your team continues to do. And I want to wish you every success for Community Development Month. And I really trust and hope that persons will support all of the activities, and in particular the highlight that event on the 31st of May. So all the very best wishes to you and your team. Keep up the good works, and I trust all of the activities, the remaining activities for Community Development Month, will go off with a bang. So congratulations and all the very best to you and your team.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister Evelyn, and I appreciate your support. You have been supportive over the years. You're just a phone call or an emailer when you're always there to assist and lend your support and give kind remarks. And so I just want to thank you as well for continuing. I think Minister Janelle Nisbet said it some time ago, you can take the ministry out of the man, but you can't take the man from the ministry, something like that. You're still a strong proponent for community development, yes, and all things social services. So I just want to thank you very much for continuing and leading the charge. And thank you for having me tonight. I really appreciate this.
And thanks for consenting to come.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. So that was Miss Denise Smithon from the Department of Community Development, the acting director. And I want to thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I certainly appreciate that, and I trust everything will go well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so we will continue with the On the Mark program. We have another 35 minutes to go, and so we have other things that we can talk about this evening. Of course, our lines will remain open in case you want to call in and put anything on the table. I have a couple other things that I need to discuss as well. But if there's anything that any burning issue that you have, anything you want to call and put on the table, our lines are open: 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. And the first thing I just want to highlight, of course, this past Sunday was Mother's Day. And of course, last week when I was here, I would have spoken about an event that the Concerned Citizens Movement would have been hosting at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park on Mother's Day for mothers on the island of Nevis. And I have to say it was a fabulous event, well organized, well executed, well attended, and I think persons had a fabulous time. We have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark. Good evening. You're live on the mark.
Yes, good evening, sir. How are you this evening?
I am doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I am not too bad. I'm calling you to interject on your program, if I may.
You may. Yes, go right ahead.
As a member of the Higher Heights Rastafari movement,
yes, sir,
we will be celebrating our 3rd anniversary from the 18th to the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
The theme, breaking the barriers to a positive development as we strive to higher heights. The program begins on the 18th, like I say. We will be gathering at our farm to do some work, maroon style. On Monday the 19th, we'll have a radio quiz on the radio stations, Bonds, Vision, Freedom. And then later in the evening, we will have a lecture discussion by Brother Michael Blake at the Jessup Community Center, starting at 7. Mr. Michael Blake, the featured speaker, is a former ambassador to Cuba, a former high school principal in St. Kitts, and an author of several books. On Wednesday the 21st, we'll have a radio talk show with Mark Brantley at 8 o'clock and thereafter.
What date is that?
On the 21st.
Okay.
And on Thursday the 22nd, we'll be delivering personal hygienic items and food hampers to the housebound island-wide. On Friday, the 23rd of May, we go into the Ivor Walters Primary School with a lecture presentation, and we'll be dealing with the historical development of Morning Star. The presenters would be Ras Aya and Ras Aiba. Now we culminate the week of activities on Saturday the 24th, and what we call the Natural Festival. It is everything local: ital, plants, vegetables, arts and crafts, local wine, etc. And a sideshow featuring local artists. The event will be held in the Villa Grounds starting at 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. Entertainment includes live band, Burning Bush, and Tech and Company, Black Circle, and DJ Woodies, New Level Sounds, Pakis, Judah, Twizzler, Westside, and many more. And that's what we have for our anniversary coming up next week.
That's quite a mouthful. You have quite a lot of stuff happening next week.
Certainly. And I'm looking forward. An invitation is extended to you. You can check your WhatsApp, and you should have some information pertaining to that there.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're most welcome.
And thank you very much for calling, and let me take this opportunity to wish you and your group every success in your 3rd anniversary and all of the events that you're going to be having next week.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, and thanks for calling in, and thanks for being a part of On the Mark this evening.
You're most welcome.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. And so, as I was saying just before that call came in, and our lines remain open. You can call in at any time, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. You're calling at any time and interrupt me at any time. As I was mentioning a while ago, the Concerned Citizens Movement, as I would have promoted it last week, Wednesday, and 2 Wednesdays before that when I was on as well, we hosted an event for mothers on this past Sunday, Mother's Day, at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And what a huge success it was. I really want to say kudos and commendation to the team that was responsible for putting this event together. We've had some excellent feedback from the persons who would have attended. Of course, it was meant to be not only for mothers. It was a Mother's Day event, but it was meant to be a family fun day. A family fun day affair for Mother's Day. Of course, the focus was on mothers, but we wanted the mothers to bring along their spouses, bring along their children, and everybody just come out and have good, clean fun. And it turned out that way. Of course, the mothers would have come, they would have gotten massages, they would have gotten manicure and pedicure, they would have been able to take photos with their children and their loved ones. Of course, they would have gotten their nice meal, they would have gotten drinks, and it was a nice family affair. The children who came had a fantastic time. We were scheduled to go from 12 until 7. I didn't leave the park until almost 9 o'clock, and so all in all, it went very well. We want to thank those who are responsible for planning the activity. Of course, all of us ministers of government, we were all very busy. I was working in the bar. The Honorable Mark Brantley was on the grill. Honorable Alexis Jeffers was on the grill. Honorable Spencer Brand was in the bar. Honorable Troy Libert, Honorable Janet Elizabeth, they were doing a lot of things on the grounds that day and before that day as well. And so all of us were involved in some way. Honorable Latoya Jones was one of the persons on the team for planning the event. And so we were all very much involved in everything that was happening there at the park on Sunday. So we want to thank all of you who came out in your numbers. As I said, we've had excellent feedback from persons who attended, and so we thank you for coming out. We plan these activities, but it could always be futile if persons don't come. And we were very satisfied with the turnout. We were very satisfied with the persons who came, and based on the feedback, it seems as though persons who attended had a wonderful time. Some persons went home with gifts. We had bingo, we had gift giveaway, we had raffles, we had numerous games, and persons just came and had a good time. I know it was very threatening in terms of the weather early in the morning, but it cleared up very nicely, and so people were able to come, sit down. We had sip and paint, and so we had various activities that persons were able to enjoy, and it was a nice, relaxing afternoon. Some persons came directly from church, and they spent the rest of the afternoon and evening at the Malcolm Gishard Park, mixing and mingling and just having a wonderful time. So once again, on behalf of the Concerned Citizens Movement, we want to thank all of you who came out in your numbers. Those of you who didn't come, you really missed a treat. And so we want to thank you for coming. And once again, we want to say thanks to those persons who were responsible for putting that wonderful, excellent event together. It was well organized, well executed, and most of all, it was well received by the persons who came out in their numbers to attend. I did indicate earlier that the Honorable Mark Brantley is not here with us this evening. He's over in St. Kitts. They are having this two-day STEP conference. It's a conference, an international conference. We have persons from all over the globe. STEP is called a STEP Caribbean Conference, and STEP stands for the Society of Trust and Estate Practitioners. The conference is being hosted here. There is a STEP Nevis branch, and the STEP Nevis branch is responsible for hosting the conference this year. That STEP Nevis branch is headed by Mrs. Helen and Lewis, and so she has been the one who has been doing most of the organizing, she and her team, for the conference. The conference starts tomorrow morning at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. It goes until Friday. This evening they are hosting a welcome reception for the participants. The STEP practitioners, that STEP organization has over 22,000 members worldwide, and of course they have persons who will be attending from all across the globe. They have numerous speakers from all across the globe, and so that conference will be hosted here in the Federation of St. Kitts. The participants will be here on Nevis on Friday evening at the Malcolm Gishard Park to attend an event dubbed Nevis Nice, and of course at that event they will be able to enjoy our Nevision hospitality, our Nevision culture, and so we want to especially welcome all of our international participants to that conference, and we want to say that we are happy to have you in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We trust that you're going to have a very successful conference, and we trust that you're going to enjoy the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and that you'll be back sometime in the future for a visit. So once again, congratulations to Ms. Lewis, the president of STEP Nevis, for spearheading this conference. And of course, normally anything that is hosted in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis always comes off very well. So we're expecting that conference to go very well in the Federation during the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday. I want to take this time right now to say congratulations to the staff at the Department of Social Services. I attended an event today at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, and that event was to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the RISE program. Some of you may or may not know what the RISE program is about, but RISE stands for Restore, Inspire, Secure, and Empower. And of course, that program has been geared towards some families on Nevis who are less fortunate. And of course, it's a program that has been going for the past 10 years. It was launched in 2014, and it has been going very well, and it has impacted many lives here on the island of Nevis. A number of unfortunate families have benefited tremendously from the program, and I was really heartened when I got to the Malcolm Gishard recreational park today for the 10th anniversary celebration, that I saw so many persons who were there, so many persons who have been impacted by this program. Of course, it's a cash transfer program. However, you get cash, but apart from getting the cash, you have to be involved in so many other educational activities, in health-related activities, and so it's a program designed for the overall development of families on the island of Nevis. I want to say kudos and commendation to all who have been a part and all who have been responsible for spearheading such an impactful program on the island of Nevis. A lot of the times things happen and they do not get enough promotion. Things happen and people don't know. And so some of you may not have been aware of this rights program. It may be a bit under the radar, but I just want to plug here and say congratulations to all who have been a part of that program. I want to say congratulations to thank you to all who have been involved. The former Minister of Social Services, Mrs. Hazel Brandy Williams, the late Mr. Keith Glasgow, who was an integral part and supported that program very, very well. The former Director of Social Services, Mrs. Sandra Maynard Morton, our current Acting Director, Mrs. Kim Singh, Mrs. Michelle Libert Rollins, Mrs. Karen Brandy, Mrs. Julian Manners, all who have been a part, Miss Julian Manners, all who have been a part of ensuring that that program was the success that it has been. And of course, when a program is successful and you can get the testimonies from persons who the program have impacted, it shows you even more. And I just want to highlight quickly some of the benefits from that program. That program would have serviced 44 Nivision families, and those 44 Nivision families would have consisted of 274 members. And so we had 274 persons who directly benefited from that program. During the course of the past 10 years, we've had 110 educational and life skill sessions conducted, as I said, with the participants, because it's not just about a handout, but it's also about ensuring that you empower the persons who are a part of that program. And of course, we had 19 children receiving reading recovery classes. We had 10 disaster risk reduction training sessions. We had 56 adults participating in annual health and wellness screening. And normally as well, we have persons on that program who, maybe because of teenage pregnancy or some other issue, were not able to get any subjects in school. Persons were able to do subjects out of school. That was facilitated by the Department of Social Services. And so we had like 18 CSEC subjects attained during that time, and we want to congratulate those persons, because of course it's not easy when you have a family to run, when you're a single mother in particular, when you have one or two children to take care of, that you still have to be trying to get one or two subjects. And so I really want to commend all who have been a part of the program, past and present, and congratulate as well the persons who willingly took part, because I know sometimes, when you're in certain vulnerable situations, you need the assistance financially, but sometimes you do not want to be a part of the programs that come with the assistance. And what we found is that these participants were very willing to be a part of the programs that they had to be a part of. And of course, the program also assisted many persons in getting jobs, full-time as well as part-time jobs. Some of the families, they were able to get free disaster kits. They were exposed to domestic violence prevention training and so on. I mean, you know, exposure to child abuse training, supporting procedures in land and house acquisition, and they were exposed to counseling sessions, getting house repairs and so on. And so the RISE program, kudos to the practitioners, kudos to all who were a part of it, and I just want to say heartiest congratulations to social services. A lot of the times we underestimate what is done in that department. I know sometimes that department gets a lot of flack, but they work very hard to ensure that the vulnerable members of our population, the vulnerable members of our community are well taken care of. They are the voice for the persons who may not normally have a voice. And so I want to congratulate social services. I ask them to continue to keep up the work, the good works, and once again, kudos and congratulations to all those persons who were a part and who continue to be a part of the RISE program, that is Restore, Inspire, Secure, and Empower. We have another 16 minutes or so to go. If you want to call in, you can feel free to do so. Our numbers are 869-469-1616, 869-1700. And if you want to call in, you can feel free to do so. While we have some time, I just want to highlight once again, of course, when I was here last week, I did indicate that we are celebrating Agriculture Awareness Month. And as the Minister of Agriculture, I'm happy with any opportunity that I can get to promote anything that the department and the Ministry of Agriculture is doing. And so I just want to continue to highlight some of the remaining activities for Agriculture Awareness Month. I must say that so far, things have been going very, very well indeed. When I was here last week, I spoke about a training program that was taking place the same evening when I was here last Wednesday at the Disaster Management Department. That training program was hosted or collaborated coordinated by Caribbean Chemicals, our friends from Caribbean Chemicals in Trinidad and Tobago. I understand that program went very, very well. And so we continue to spearhead our activities for Agriculture Awareness Month. And so today, Wednesday the 14th of May, we would have had seedling distribution done to the preschools and the nurseries here on the island of Nevis. I think we would have had a similar activity last year, and so that would have been taking place today. Tomorrow the 15th, we do have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark.
Honorable.
Yes, sir.
Let me be a call for the whole night.
Pardon me?
Let me be a call for the whole night. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How long have you been in agriculture?
I have been in agriculture all of my life, practically. But in terms of being in the department, because when I was growing up, my family has always been involved in agriculture, growing crops, looking after animals ever since. So I have been in agriculture practically all of my life. But I was in the Department of Agriculture. I spent 32 years in the Department of Agriculture. That was my first and only job in the government service. And so I would have spent 32 years in the Department of Agriculture. And so now I am the Minister of Agriculture. So I've practically been in agriculture all of my life.
Okay. Why I call you because somebody had run some kind of question to me about agriculture in Nevis going out because they don't have equipment. They don't have equipment and things like that.
What equipment?
Like, you know how do the plow ground with machine? Do they have machine and things
that? We do have equipment. We do. The Department of Agriculture provides land preparation service at a very cheap rate as well.
Because they said, agriculture that need their own machine to plow the ground, do this and do that. So I said, listen, I don't call in on this one. Let me ask the question on it. Because sometimes some people up here, they're sending wrong messages.
But of course, we know what world we live in now, and most of the stuff that you hear or you see on social media are normally false anyway.
I said that let me ask my good friend, Brother Evelyn, who in charge of agriculture
Yes, sir.
For a long time, about the machine and how the equipment them go. Whether them you old and you need new equipment and you ain't getting no equipment to plow the ground. I said, let me ask.
Well, you see, the thing is, right? I'm sure if you follow the news, right, and even if you follow On the Mark, you would know that the Department of Agriculture recently hosted a hugely successful Agri Expo in March, the last Thursday and Friday of March. I think it was the 27th and the 28th of March. And every time we have this festival, we have this Agri Expo, your people are just amazed in terms of the quality of produce that we have on the island of Nevis. So if we didn't have any equipment to plow the ground, how people would have been able to produce all of this stuff? I speak every time I speak about the Agri Expo, right? I speak about the over 150 persons to come up from Statia and how many produce they buy and take back, right? So if we didn't have the equipment to plow the land, how would these farmers be able to produce?
It's a lot of local. Is a part of planting.
But of course,
agriculture business.
of course.
Instead of have to bring in somebody to do the planting.
No, we don't have to bring in anybody. The persons who are doing the agriculture are persons who are residing here on the island of Nevis, sir.
I said, let me ask you the question while you're there, hosting this show for what week from last week. You hosting this show. I said, let me ask you this question because somebody come and ask me the thing that agriculture because they need new machine and this and that.
Well, of course, we need some new machines. So if anybody who is listening and want to donate, they can do so. And the person who spoke to you, tell them if they want to donate a machine or donate towards a new machine. We will accept the donation. No matter what you do, you always need new machine. And anything that you're into, any industry you're into, you're always in need of new machines.
Okay. All right. I got left you and I can call back again.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to call in and just good night, you know what I mean?
Thank you, sir. All right.
All right.
And so, as I was saying just before that call came in, I was talking about the activities, the rest of the activities for Agriculture Awareness Month. And so, tomorrow, Thursday, the 15th of May, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., we have a training session aimed at backyard farmers, and that is on pest and disease identification, prevention, and management. Of course, last week when we were here, one of our backyard gardeners was complaining about the worms on a pumpkin, right? And so I'm encouraging the backyard gardeners to attend the session tomorrow, Thursday, and I think that will be taking place at Prospect. And so from 4:30, it's after working hours, so if you normally work until 4, you have time to go and attend the session if you have a backyard garden, even if you're a full-time farmer, because of course the pests and diseases affect all of the crops. And so even if you're a full-time farmer and you want to go and attend that session tomorrow, it takes place at Prospect from 4:30 until 6:30, and it's on pest and disease identification, prevention, and management. So you're going to learn how to identify the pests and how you can prevent them from destroying your crops and how the management aspect of it. On Tuesday, that's next week, Tuesday the 20th, we have a training for livestock farmers, and that training is on intensive and semi-intensive management systems, and that will be taking place at the Red Cross building in Charlestown, and that goes from 7 until 9:30 p.m. So it is in the evening. We know that most persons are very busy during the day, so that takes place next Tuesday evening, 7 to 9:30, and that will be at the Red Cross building in Charlestown. Next week, Wednesday the 21st and Thursday the 22nd of May, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. Those are called open house days at the veterinary clinic at Prospect. Of course, we know the veterinary clinic is there to assist our livestock farmers and animal owners, and so you can go out during those 2 days, see what services they have to offer, go and answer any questions that you may have, and so those 2 days you can go. Feel free to go in any time during the course of the day, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. actually, those are the hours, and you can get all of your questions answered and get any information that you need from the veterinary clinic. On Wednesday the 28th of May, we have a development session for the staff, and so that is an in-house session for the staff. That will be at NEPAC. We also have, and of course the Department and the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, we have been collaborating with Gender Affairs over the past couple of years during the month of May as well, to host a fish pot making workshop. And so that fish pot making workshop is on the calendar again this year. That will be taking place at the Jessop's playing field. That's the home for the fish pot making workshop. So that takes place on May the 24th and the 31st. So it's 2 Saturdays, and that will be taking place at the Jessop's playing field. You can of course register with the Department of Gender Affairs and with the Department of Marine Resources at Prospect. And then we end off the month of activities with a fun day, a staff fun day, and that will be taking place at the Brown Hill playing field, and that will be taking place on Thursday the 29th of May. And so that is what the rest of our calendar of activities looks like for Agriculture Awareness Month. We ask that you continue to support Agriculture Awareness Month. You continue to support Tourism Awareness Month taking place this month as well, and you continue to support the Community Development Month. Of course, you would have heard from Ms. Denicia Smithen earlier on. I also want to indicate that, of course, every time I come here, I say how fast, how swiftly our days and weeks and months are flying by, and we are now almost the middle of May. And of course, C51, Culturama 51, is fast approaching. And so next week Tuesday, we are actually going to be having the media launch of Culturama 51. That will be taking place at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And so of course, we know it's normally live online, and so we're going to be asking persons to tune in online to witness the media launch. That's when we normally have like some of the sponsors coming on board and handing over their checks, when we have the launch of the jingle and the slogan, and of course normally when we reveal who is our patron and that sort of thing. And so that will be taking place next week Tuesday, the 20th of May, at the Malcolm Gishard Park at 10 a.m. And while I'm on the issue of Culturama, I just want to remind that that registration remains open. Registration remains open for the art, craft, and food fair, and registration will end for that on Monday, June the 16th. And of course, we know that is an event that is normally sold out, and we're asking persons who are interested in being a vendor that you go and you register. I just want to indicate that the Culturama Secretariat is now in the Cotton Ginnery Mall, upstairs the Cotton Ginnery Mall. Of course, they were previously next to the Maud Cross Preschool, but they have moved and they're now in the Cotton Ginnery Mall upstairs. So if you need to go to the Culturama Secretariat, they are now back in the Cotton Ginnery Mall, but they are upstairs. And so you can register for the food fair. Registration ends on Monday, June the 16th. Registration is still open for the Junior Calypso competition, and that ends on Friday, June the 13th. and registration for the senior parade that ends on Friday, June the 13th as well. And so those of you who haven't registered yet for these events, we are asking you to go or call the Culturama Secretariat and make sure that you register for these events. Normally, persons have a bad habit of waiting until the last minute to register. We are asking you not to do that and to try and go and register as soon as possible. So, as I said, a lot has been happening here on the island of Nevis. This coming Sunday, we'll be having the launch of the Film Commission at NEPAC. That will be from 4:30 p.m. And a part of the launch, there will be the showing of Hamilton's America and the story behind the musical. And of course, I'm sure everybody knows about that famous musical Hamilton that everybody who have seen it apparently loves. And of course, the Film Commission will be launched on Sunday at NEPAC. And a part of that launch, they will be showing this film, Hamilton's America, and that is the story behind the musical Hamilton. Of course, the musical is based on our very own Alexander Hamilton. All right, so that happens on Sunday, the 18th of May. And there's never a dull moment on the island of Nevis. So once again, I want to thank all of you for joining us. The time is almost done, and we're almost at the 10 o'clock hour. And so time, of course, when you have a lot of information to share, time goes by very quickly. We were so happy to have earlier on this evening the acting director of the Community Development Department, Miss Denise Smithen. She would have shared quite a lot on Community Development Month, and especially that Heritage, Multicultural Heritage Festival taking place on Saturday, the 31st of May, at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And so it has certainly been my pleasure once again hosting On The Mark this evening. I trust that you've had a wonderful evening, and I'm encouraging you once again to tune in tomorrow. Those of you who tuned in and you want to hear again tomorrow, tune in at 1 o'clock. Those who didn't get a chance to tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the repeat of the On The Mark program. It's always a pleasure being in your company. Thanks to Miss Smitten who was here. Thanks to all who called in. And I want to take this opportunity to wish you a pleasant night's rest. Thank you for joining us. God bless. Have a good evening.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.